Hi, my name is Sanne Muiser. I'm a designer and I work in the intersection between design, arts, and research. In 2015, I graduated from the Design Academy in Eindhoven, where I graduated with skins based on natural fibers. And those were hemp and flax, for instance, but also I used a lot of wool. And camel wool, merino, colored, uncolored. Most of them were uncolored, so natural colors. Also the TextileLab wool. So that was a Dutch fiber, Dutch wool. And the textiles went, when I graduated, the textiles went all around the world, on several exhibitions. And people asked me to tell the story about my skins, about the project that I made back then. I noticed when I started to talk is that a lot of people who were coming to those interviews, a lot of people who come to those talks were a lot of people from the wool industry, or they were shepherds themselves, and they had so much knowledge about their country, their flock, how it works. And actually I realized that I was all over Europe, and a little bit in the US. And actually, I had no idea about the Dutch wool. I knew the Tesselaar, that's quite a famous breed, but for the rest, I had no idea. And from child's on, I had already this big need to be in nature, and somehow I thought, now is the time. I will become a shepherd just to know more about the wool fiber. How does this work? How does it relate to nature? How and to the landscape actually, and what is it to be a shepherd? How is it, what are you doing, and what are you doing here in the Netherlands to be a shepherd? It's very old. It's very cultural heritage, and you have many different kind of breeds. You have, for every part of the Netherlands, you have your own typical breed. So it's very old, very traditional. And here in the south where I live and where I also become trained to be a shepherd, we have the Kempische heideschaap. And back in the 80s, the Kempisch heideschaap was almost gone. It's a very old breed, and industrialization came, and there was no need to have those original sheep anymore. The opportunities I see if we look to Dutch wool, there are several. I think the journey that I made, I will recommend to everyone, come from industry and go into, or become a shepherd, but you don't have to, or focus on flax, walk with a farmer, see how this fiber, how it grows, how it can harvest, and see the whole rhythm. At least do it for a year so you experience all the seasons. And really do it yourself. So stand on the land and work with it, because you will notice how much labor it costs. So that's a good thing to know, and then you will revalue. So, but also get your industrial mind to it to see, so this is how it works. There are small amounts of wool, and we say this is unvaluable. Yeah, of course, if you look to merinos, maybe it's not the best micronage, it's not the best quality, but still it has value. And if you see it in the cultural heritage and how it works for the landscape and the amount of labor that's in it, you will revalue. And maybe, you can make small steps to actually bring the shepherd to industry, or bring the flax to the right industry, because I think all the knowledge is there. It's sometimes a lack of connection, and also the lack of, we have to always go big scale one way. And it's a pity that sometimes, industrial washing, for instance, if we talk about wool, that needs to be washed, it can only be for 3,000 kilos. That's the starting point. Well, if you have a small, the amount of sheep, you know, your flock, you don't have that much, then it's difficult to enter this. But still, your wool is in that way exclusive enough, you know, although it's not the right micronutrients. I don't say you have to make a sweater out of it. You can use it in houses, you can use it for so many things, but it's sort of, we lost it. And I think, you know, this making this connection again, making not only the shepherd and textile industry and closed markets, but open up, have the conversation, but also really do it. Feel it with your hands. Then, yeah, you know, suddenly you know, and then you can act with it. What I noticed on the journey, becoming a shepherd and being a woman myself as well, I found out, I thought a shepherd, I thought it was a male job, but I had so many female students also around me and surrounded by so many females. What I found so interesting really in the shepherd world is that you have to collaborate. You cannot do without. So there were, you know, it was a good balance, I would say, between male and female and their strength. And I think it's all in all of us, but you could really see how it can work together. So that's really what I liked about the shepherd world. One thing though to say is that all the sheep in the field are women. I think always like, oh, those little ladies are doing the heavy job, but they're doing it, and they're doing it so well.